Hello, hello, hello. What does it mean when a top analyst at one of the top financial services companies says something crazy about silver? Doesn't just say one crazy thing about silver, says several things that are outstanding about silver. Historic times two. We're going to cover that in this video. And again, this is a top analyst that we're going to love from a top financial services company. And bonus feature, he actually said the S word. Yes, squeeze. We're going to talk about that as well. What about India? Oh, this hubbub. Have you heard? Have you heard? India has now repatriated over 100 metric tons of gold from London, England. What are the implications of that? What is that telling us? We're going to dig into that as well. Should we be very scared? I have a big warning for you, silver investor, gold investor, basement dweller. A big, big warning. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Don't forget, it's real easy to give this a thumbs up. That helps get the word out to more people. You can subscribe. It's free. If you ever want to mail me an ounce of silver, send me an email. And thank you to all the contributions from you, basement dwellers, to the channel. I get a lot of emails with articles, ideas. I can't read them all in thorough, but I get a lot of the ideas for this content from you. So keep it up. Thank you. I want you to know that I do appreciate your contributions. But let's talk about, there's several big historic things going on right now in silver, in precious metals. Let's talk about the first historic event that's occurring right now. And you may not agree with me. That's okay. But I believe this is a historic time from this perspective for silver. But there's another historic event occurring with silver that we're going to talk about when we talk about this analyst who we love now, who has crazy things to say. Let's dig right in and let's talk about the fact that we are at historic high levels in the silver price. I want you to look at something here, okay? And I will continue to say this. I got a big warning for you about silver tonight, this coming week, gold as well. But nonetheless, right now, if we look at a 50-year chart of silver, somewhere on here it says 50 years, all data, 1976. How old were you in 1976? Huh? You little whippersnapper? I was 6 years old, waving the American flag at the bicentennial parade at Lusher Elementary School in St. Louis County, Florissant, Missouri, the Valley of the Flowers. That's not why you're here. You could care less. You want to hear about history. Boy, if I was smart, I remember after that bicentennial parade begging my mom, Mommy, please bring me to the coin shop. I want to buy some silver for $4 an ounce. Come on, Mom, it's a steal. You know, I was telling her, I'm like, 50 years from now, I'll be in my basement talking about silver. We could talk about how after the 1976 bicentennial parade, we bought silver for $4. Yeah, well, you know, she didn't listen to me. Now, what's important here? See my yellow finger on the screen? Huh? Look at this, where we are right now. $30 silver. Okay, so here's the $30 line. I want you to go all the way across, all the way back to 1976. Are we, do you agree with me? Are we in historic high level prices for silver? Yes, we are. There's no way that anybody can argue that we're not at historic high levels. If we go to this 30 line, how much time have we spent above 30? Okay, so what is that? 2010, 2011, maybe 1 or 2 years, in maybe a month back in 1980. So basically, you're telling me 2011, 2012, yeah, that's 1 year. There's 1 year above 30 in 2011. And maybe at most, guys, in the last 50, what's 76? Yeah, that's 50 years, right? Yeah, 2024. Yeah, anyway, you get the point. We spent 2 years, 1/25, 4%, only 4% of the last 50 years have we been above this level in the silver price. We are at historic high levels in the silver price. And what does that mean? What does that mean from a price perspective, from a momentum perspective? Okay. When something hits new highs, it generally continues to go higher and higher and higher. There's not a lot of people that bought silver in this 1 year period up here looking to sell. There ain't nobody that bought silver. A few people, okay, that are looking, that are saying, oh boy, when the guy the dum-dum that bought silver at $40, not the dum-dum, the guy who has a very long-term perspective on his silver purchases in 1980, that bought silver for $40 an ounce. Very few of those guys are sitting around saying, boy, when silver hits $40, I'm going to sell that silver I bought 44 years ago. No. When something hits new all-time highs, it generally continues to new all-time highs. You don't have to. Whoa! I just knocked Susie over. Sorry. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. I knocked Susie's walkie-talkie over. When something hits new all-time highs, it generally continues to hit higher and higher levels, okay? As we look at this, we're not even going to go through that, but let's just, for fun, how do I do this? No? Well, anyway. Okay, here, we'll just do another quick look. Let's look back 10 years. Okay, look. So 10-year chart, silver. Okay, so I will argue this point with anyone out there that we are at new all-time highs for the silver. Historic highs. That's historic number one. We have more historic news to talk about that relates directly to silver and the S word, the squeeze word. By the way, let's not forget about you gold lovers. Here's a gold chart. 1 year, all-time high. Okay, look. Now that's 6 months. Well, 6 months, we're near an all-time high. 1 year, that's a 1 year chart, all-time high in gold. 2 year, look at, I mean, gold is undeniably, obviously, 10 years gold, 15-year gold, 20-year gold. Hopefully you're not getting dizzy watching this. What do you think's next? 30-year gold. Look at that. Unbelievable. And a 50-year gold chart. Mom, I'm mad. The only thing I'm mad at you about is we could have gone and bought gold for what? $100 an ounce in 1974. Anyway, historic. And this is the cup. Okay, this is gold. Same thing happening in silver. You know what a cup and handle pattern is. We're going to review it super quickly because it is the biggest, most powerful technical analysis chart, in my opinion, in the world. Here's and the same thing is happening in silver right now. Gold's already broken out. There's the cup. There's the handle. And when it got above this level, ba-boom, it took off. We can expect the same thing in silver. I also see an upside down head and shoulder, okay? Like somebody standing on their heads. There's a shoulder, there's the head, there's the shoulder, boom. Same thing going on in the silver price as well. We're at historic levels. Let's remember that. Sorry, Charlie. Sorry, all you people that buy tech stocks and buy the S&P 500 ETF. Nothing against you if you do that, but I'm telling you, gold is at all-time highs. Silver is at all-time highs. All right. Okay. Do you think silver, let's touch on quickly because this is important to us, okay? Silver stackers in particular. Do you think silver's manipulated? I want to show you some crazy data. 15 minutes is all it took. That's all it took. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, this comes from our friends at Silver Desian. I'm sorry. No, the silver. Hold on here. Uh-oh. Well, we're going all over the place today. Hold on. Here we go, folks. One more bigger. This is from the... Okay, we're going to try that one more time. This is from the Wall Street Silver. Okay, the Empire Strikes Back. This is what happened. Think about this. Friday morning, okay, the price of silver skyrocketed, almost went to $32 an ounce again, right? Was doing very, very well. And then, do you find isn't it a little interesting, right? And what is this telling us? Like a lag? Like maybe an hour later, suddenly, out of the blue, based on no data that broke, all right, this was a lag. This was an hour later. We had a massive beatdown in the silver price. I think it was like a full $1 or maybe $2. I don't know. It was crazy. All right, so look at this. The Empire Strikes Back, okay? 3,000 contracts traded in 15 minutes. Each contract on the COMEX is worth 5,000 ounces of paper, unicorn fart dust, make-believe silver. That's 31 million ounces were traded in 15 minutes. that would be like this, okay? That would be the price of silver getting clobbered. 31 million ounces, 15 minutes. Bear in mind, the entire year, labor, hard work, people all over the world digging, mining, only produces a little over 800 million ounces. And in 15 minutes, they were able to bash down the price of silver with 31 million ounces. Paper ounces, make believe. Did I say unicorn fart dust already? Right? It's absolutely insane, and it's about to come to an end. And I'm going to tell you what, when you got a top analyst at a top financial services company talking about something else historic going on in the silver market and even using the S word, what does that tell us, guys? What does that tell us? Let's put it all together, right? We know that the rigging of the price at the COMEX and the LBMA is coming to an end. Everybody's talking about it now. It's almost made it the mainstream media. I don't want to knock Susie over again. Hold on a second. Let's make sure this is working. Susie, are you okay? Okay. Sorry, I knocked you off your chair a second ago. Okay. Okay. Now, that's a big deal. All right. What am I worried? Okay. Tonight, I'm worried. I'm warning. This is an official red alert warning. Okay. I don't get this feeling. I only say this about once every 6.5 weeks on Sunday. I think if there's ever been a time when they're going to bash down the price of gold, bash down the price of silver, that it could be tonight. I very well could be wrong. Okay. But I just got that feeling that if the right now where we are in the summertime, in the overall markets, when I'm looking at everything, I throw it in. Look, this is my artificial intelligence, and it's real artificial. Don't get me wrong, but that's what my gut. I call that my gut. That's my gut GPT. Hey, I was right on Friday. I was talking to Bald Guy Money Friday morning. Silver was way up, and I said, I got a feeling it's going to be one of those days. My gut GPT was telling me, right? And that's not just based on whims. That's based on decades of following these markets. I think we have heightened risk tonight of a beatdown in the gold and silver markets. I likely am wrong. Okay, I'm saying like a 38% chance, 34% chance. It'll be real interesting. Will be real interesting to watch the silver price tonight when the Shanghai Gold Exchange opens. All right, they are taking control. We're not going to go down that path today, but you know that big picture for silver is going to be very, very interesting. Let's talk about you, and then we're going to talk about this top analyst, what he's seen as historic going on right now, and the squeeze. And we're going to talk about this massive amount of gold. Why do you think India wants their gold back? Their gold from London. Think about it. We're going to dig into that one as well. But first, I want to say thank you for joining me today. Thank you to our sponsors, Pimbex, Pimbex, Pimbex.com. If you want to get your hands on some silver, gold, or platinum, look, I found Pimbex prices are always pretty much, I won't say impossible, but very difficult to beat. And I don't want to spend a lot of time going to every website on the internet and having to dig through and figure out if I can trust these companies, not trust these companies. I know when I go to Pimbex, I'm getting awesome prices, okay? Getting more metal for my money. And for me, it's a company that I trust, that I've done a number of transactions with over the last year before they sponsored my channel even, okay? I wouldn't work with them if I didn't believe in them 100%. And the brothers that run and own that company founded that company with the mission of getting the most metal in people's stacks, right, for their fiat when they want to convert it. I think they're the best. Pimbex. Now, let's move on. Let's talk about, are you ready? Well, we got some big stuff to talk about today, guys. Are you ready? Let's see if I can, let's get there. And wrong. Here we go. This comes from BNN Bloomberg. What does it mean, right? When we got a top analyst from TD saying that we could have extreme price action, booming silver demand. Okay, let's go down and let's talk about historic here as well. Silver is the latest mined material to experience an uptick in global demand thanks to its use in electronics. I didn't know that. Clean energy. What? And do you know they use silver in sanitation? We're going to talk about that later, too. That's the big sleeper that could explode, guys. I mean, you think solar's a big deal. Well, there's another big deal that nobody's talking about, and we're going to talk about it later. Commodities expert predicts the price of the metal will continue to climb. Quote, are you ready for a quote? Nothing like a good quote from an analyst. I think that silver is probably the most exciting trade in the energy transition theme within the commodities complex today. Whoa, there's a lot to unpack there. Silver, most exciting trade in the energy transition theme within the commodities complex today. That means it's more exciting than lithium, more exciting than gold, more exciting than all the other metals that are considered energy transition. And that's a big deal. That's from Daniel Golly. He's a senior commodities strategist. Oh, he's not an analyst. He's a strategist. I'm sorry. With TD Securities. Told Bloomberg on Tuesday. Quote, this is where it gets interesting. What we're talking about here is a market that has been in a universally recognized, not just recognized, the entire universe, right? That means beyond our planet. That means into the sky, as far as it goes. You ever think about that? Look at the sky and think, how far does it go? And then you think, woof, maybe I need to think about something else. Anyway, universally recognized structural deficit. Okay. There's yeah, have you heard that, basement dwellers? There's a lot more silver being consumed than is being produced every year, essentially driven by the boom in solar capacity across the world. And hold on a second, we're coming back to this. You want to see a boom? I'll show you a boom boom. Here we go. Man, I got it all for you guys today. That, my friends, is a boom. This is what he's talking about. This is the amount of solar installed in the first quarter of 2024. The big orange line? Yes. And this is in India alone. Well, I don't know what you call that. I was going to say Viagra, but we'll say a hockey stick looking chart there. Yes, I think we can call that a boom. Now let's go back. Boom. Uh-oh, here we go. Boom. All right. Boom. Solar capacity. Okay, a boom in solar capacity across the world and the growing trend of electronics being embedded in everything that we do. I mean, they're even putting computer chips in people's brains. Crazy. How would you like that? Have a little silver up in your head. But particularly so in vehicles. We don't even talk about that anymore, do we? Electric cars, they kind of got shoved off to the side. Now, this is where it gets historic. Historic. And then we're going to talk about a silver squeeze. Man, this is okay. Take your blood pressure medicine. The price of silver was hovering just shy of 32 an ounce on Tuesday afternoon, the highest price on record. Okay, that's historic number one. We already covered that. There's more historic. Aside from brief spikes in the early 2010s and the late 1970s, right? Like 4% of the time we showed that, right? I mean, silver is in, for 96% of history, silver in dollars is at an all-time high. Mr. Gale said, the metal's recent bullish run is due to, this is historic, and this is the one that nobody talks about, historical lack of investment in silver-specific mines. Now we've got a top analyst at a top company, a strategist. I'm sorry, he's a strategist, not an analyst. Anyway, saying that there's been a historic lack of investment in silver-specific mines. Now he gives another, this guy's the best. He gives another real keen insight on what we can expect, okay? Which has led to supply worries in the industry as demand continues, and there's the B word again, boom, not basement, a boom, basement boom, boom. Silver is primarily mined as a byproduct of lead and zinc. We know that already, and copper and gold mines. So there are very few companies that mined silver specifically. And as we've talked about, I've talked with Keith Newmeyer. I've talked to the Sean Kuhn from Dolly Varden. I've talked to John Lee from Silver Elephant. I've talked to Jorge Ganoza from Fortuna Silver Mines, who also sponsors the show. Thank you, Fortuna Silver, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. Fortuna is actually a silver and gold miner now, and it's interesting. They pivoted to gold because finding silver and mining silver, it was a very wise, strategic long-term move when they pivoted towards doing both silver and gold, because the silver mining silver is a very difficult business. So as a result, like Golly's telling us, nobody's invested in it. So there's been very little. We talked yesterday, the entire silver mining sector. Sit down, guys. Oh my gosh, it's coming out of everywhere, out of every hole. We're springing leaks. The market cap of the entire precious metals, silver specific mining sector, the entire market cap is $15 billion. You know, if you just compare that like we did yesterday to Home Depot's worth $300 billion. That means the entire silver mining sector is valued at like, I don't know what, 5% of Home Depot. I hate those big stores. But anyway, that's for a different channel at a different time. That's what this guy's talking about. Okay. He says, he agrees with me, quote, in yellow here. As a result of that, the structural underinvestment into the mining space has resulted in a structural, universal undersupply of silver that we're seeing today. Gahale added that until recently, this is so interesting. Supply deficit concerns had been tampered by a quote unquote massive amount of above ground inventories, right? They're saying there's all this extra excess inventory of silver above ground. So as the world was demanding more silver, they were able to just suck it out of all this excess above ground inventory. How long do you think that's going to last? Okay. Of above ground inventories that could be relied upon to balance the gap, plug the gap, whatever you want to say it, in silver markets. But he expects that to change. He says, quote, we think global inventories are probably overstated. In green there, guys. There's not as much silver above ground as they're saying, okay? When you account for the amount of silver that is actually freely available for purchase, and as a result of that, right, that's what they're saying is like the silver that you're looking at right now, Tesla or whoever's going to need it, right, the solar panel manufacturers, you're not going to sell it, okay? As a result, we're probably in a situation, okay, that could lead to some pretty extreme price action in silver, he said. Now, this is where it gets super interesting, where you got to start thinking strategy. Golly said that he expects demand to continue to grow for the foreseeable future. Okay, that's good. But added that technology companies using the metal will likely, quote unquote, thrift out the silver content, replacing it with cheaper and more readily available materials over time. But guess what, guys? They're not going to, I've never heard that. It's a new term for us. We learned something, thrift out. That means the solar panel manufacturer will say, is there anything besides silver I can use that is an equivalent or close to an equivalent? But guys, think about this. They aren't going to do that until the silver becomes, they're like anybody. They're not going to address the problem until the silver becomes very, very, very expensive. What does that mean for the stack that you're looking at right now? That means the value of your stack, not just in nominal terms, no, in real terms, because of supply and demand, not just nominal, not just, well, inflation went up 10%, so my silver went up 10%. No, I'm talking about your silver possibly going up 3 or 4 times in value. And then the big tech companies will say, we got to find something else besides silver. Silver's too expensive and we can't find, there's no silver available because nobody invested in silver mines over the last 10 years. Why didn't anybody invest in silver? Why did nobody drill for silver? Why did nobody build new silver mines? Because there was no money in it. Eisenhower, right? Or what's that guy's name? Albert Elon, whatever, you know? Okay, now, cowbell time. Okay. Thank you, Susie. Time for us to ring the cowbell. Now, then we're going to come back. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Let's say hi to everybody. Sorry, I know you guys. It's good to see you. Oh my gosh, all 700 people on a Sunday morning. Crazy. That's for 200 thumbs up. Please give this a thumbs up if you haven't already. We have 700 people. I think we could get 700 thumbs up. I tell you what, at 400 today only, I'll blow the train whistle. Okay, now let's get back to the silver squeeze. Got to find my article. And here we go. Okay. Take your blood pressure medicine. So this is more a story over the next year or two. Okay. Remember, this is the same guy who said we can have extreme price action. Now he's saying this is the silver story over the next year or two, where you can see a temporary, everybody say it with me, squeeze on prices that could relate to substantial gains. I want you to write that down, okay, over the next year or two, where you can see a temporary, all squeezes are temporary, by the way, they don't last forever, squeeze on prices that could relate to substantial gains, he said. Thank you, Mr. Golly. You made us happy on Sunday morning because you have the courage to speak the truth, okay? This guy, no, this is TD Securities, big money, right? Smart, right? This is, we got all the smart people are calling for higher silver. Don't forget, tonight it could get beat down temporarily. Everything's noise at this point. Anytime we get these like Friday noise, just noise, temporary, okay? The bottom line, we're not going to go down the Fed path. We're not even going to talk about this guy today, but he just wants to say hi. Yes, he's continuing to try to rip you off and want you to believe in paper money, right? But the bottom line, it's all short-term noise at this point, because this thing, right? This thing is going down in value. And as it goes down in value, real assets are the place to be. Okay, no doubt about it. All right, there's that. Let's go to India. Did you hear the big breaking news? Why did India, and I've got did extensive research, talked to some Indian people, okay, and some big, interesting insights into what is going on with India. But let's go to an Indian newspaper and see what they have to say about what is going on. And don't forget, hey, I'm over here on the side. What the heck? How do I do it? Oh, there it is. My finger doesn't go. That's how much solar installation, India put in for silver. That's silver. That's demand for silver. Think of that as that big orange line. Orange is my favorite color, is demand for silver. I digress. Let's get back here. Let's go to India. See if I can find this. Nope. I'm going to get there. Here we go. Okay. Let me fix. Here we are. This is the Indian, I think it's an Indian newspaper. Sure looks like it. Here we go. I don't know what that says. Maybe one of our viewers in India can tell us. I cannot read that. I'm sorry, but it says the RBI, which is the Royal Bank of India. This is big news, guys. Shifts 100 tons of gold from vaults in the United Kingdom from London, England. How could they dare do that? Call up those boys in London and say, we want our gold back to India. All right. Interesting. The Reserve Bank of India shifted around 100 tons of gold, kept in the bank vaults in the UK to its own vaults in India. Okay, they say it's for saving storage cost. This is the first time since 1991 that India has undertaken such a large-scale overseas transfer of gold reserves. Important point number one. Let's see, can we do math? That would be 9. That would be 33 years. It's the first time in 33 years. Why did India do this? Are you asking yourself? Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's get to the real bottom of it. Let's not get to the mainstream media. Let's get to the real bottom of it. Economist Sanjeev Sanjal A member of the PM's Economic Advisory Council said, while no one was watching, that's another interesting thing. While no one was watching in the dead of the night, the Royal Bank of India shifted 100 tons of its gold reserves back to India from the UK. Quote, most countries keep their gold in the vaults of the Bank of England or some such location and pay a fee for the privilege. India will now hold most of its gold in its own vaults. We've come a long way since we had to ship out gold overnight in 1991 in the midst of a crisis. Think about this, okay? And I dug into this. The only reason India sent that gold over to London back in 1991 was because they were in the middle of a huge, huge financial crisis. So what did the people in London say when they said send what? I mean, think about it. It's so funny, right? These what are they called? Keynesian economists, these central bankers that are like, oh, gold and silver, it's a pet rock. We don't go, no, blah, blah, blah. Well, what did London say they wanted when a crisis hit? They said they wanted the gold. They didn't say, send us some of your paper rupees or whatever they were using back then, or send us an IOU. No, London said, you're in crisis. We don't trust you. We want your gold. We want your gold. And now what is India? Now that India is becoming an economic superpower, right, guys? India has 1.4 billion people that love gold. Indian households have 25,000 metric tons of gold hidden in their houses alone. I'm not talking about their central bank, what we're talking about now. 25,000, that is 3 times the amount of gold that the United States of America supposedly, because they won't let us see it or touch it, even though it supposedly belongs to you and me if you are an American citizen, that's 3 times what we supposedly had at Fort Knox, right? 8,000 metric tons. That we're just supposed to believe in being there, even though, oh no, that's right, Mnuchin, right? The former Treasury Secretary, he bugged me. Not many people bug me. He bugs me. He bugged and Bugs Bunny, whatever, bugs me. I don't care how you say it. And he sent out a tweet with his girlfriend of, oh, I'm at Fort Knox. The gold's here. Oh, is that an audit? We're supposed to, yeah, we believe you, Mnuchin, right? Because you're from Goldman Sachs. And we know everybody that comes from Goldman Sachs is absolutely of the highest ethical standards. You've proven that to us over and over. I digress. What did India have to do when they were in a state of crisis? They had to give their gold away. Well, they didn't give it away. They put it out as collateral, right? What do they do now that they're a superpower? 1.4 billion people, one of the fastest growing economies on the face of the earth. I know a lot of Indian people. We got a lot in my neighborhood, a lot in St. Louis. My kids are friends with them. They're very driven, hardworking, honest people. Their economies are booming over there, okay? They want their gold back. I'm sorry. Okay, well, here he says it right here. For those of my generation, the shipping out of gold in 1991 was a moment of failure that we will never forget. This is why the shipping back of gold has a special meaning, he pointed out. In 1991, when the country was in the grip of a severe, I said just a severe, severe foreign crisis with no money to pay for essential imports. All right, here we go. Hold on. Everybody have a drink of coffee with me. The Royal Bank of India has, like other central banks, been buying gold as a safe haven asset. The strategy of holding gold is, oh, did you guys know this? Primarily aimed at hedging against inflation and reducing foreign currency risk. Interesting, especially in times of uncertainty triggered by geopolitical tensions. Again, as far as I know, this is from an Indian newspaper. I have no idea what that says. It looks like upside down writing to me, but nonetheless, I'm sure it has something going on. All right, let's get back here. Wow, 800 of us. Thank you, basement dwellers. This is huge. You know, this is the best community, and it's because of you. I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, right? And I was like, it's not RonTube, it's YouTube. These people that come and join, that's you, wherever you are in the chat. Tell us where you're from. We love to hear like all the different places. Silvershire's here. Good to see you. Silvershire, I got something funny to tell you. Silvershire had sent me, hold on. Well, I'll just have to verbally tell you. Silvershire had sent me a list of the gold to silver ratio throughout history. I kept it on my desk for the longest time. I was cleaning off my desk yesterday. I crumbled it up and threw it away. Sorry, Silvershire. But then today, I was thinking about making a video about that, and I had to go dig it out of the trash can. So there's going to be a crumpled up piece of paper in an upcoming video. I really, again, when you guys send me articles, information, I can't respond to everybody, but I look at everything, and it helps come together, gives me a feel for what you're interested in, and what you're interested in is important. What's even more important is if you're willing to share your thoughts, your ideas in this comment section. Look at Hester. I had a girlfriend in college named Hester from South Africa, and my great-grandpa's from South Africa. Wow. Nice to see you here, Hester. Thank you for being here. I digress. Let's talk about the little-known facts, a little-known fact about silver. And I'm digging into this one, but I'm going to give you a preview right now, because I actually heard Rick Rule say this. You know the whole story on silver. God, how many times have we heard it? If we hear one more time that central banks are buying gold, which is great, awesome, it's all good stuff, right? And also all the uses of silver, artificial intelligence, solar panels. But Rick Rule brought something up. I heard him say this about 6 weeks ago, and it really piqued my curiosity. And maybe you guys have some great information on this as well. But nobody talks about how silver has massive, and we know it's used in medical. I'm not talking about medical, although it's somewhat related, in sanitation purposes, things like water filtration. I'm telling you, that is like the sleeper area, because I want you to think about something. What's the one thing? Well, what are a couple things you need to? What are a couple things you need to live? Right? You need to eat. You need to breathe. That's very critical. Probably air is number one. But what's number two? Right? Would it be eating? Would it be love? Would it be being part of a community, like a basement dweller here on a Sunday morning? What else? What's the second most important thing that you likely need? Water. Clean, fresh water. And silver can play a critical in the world, like we were just talking about India, 1.4 billion people. China, 1.4 billion people. You need water. I need water. They're likely going to need silver to help purify this water. As the world's population grows, as the world is more and more people, there's a weird thing going on in China and India. Very weird. Somebody needs to talk to of the guys that are running the Bidenomics plan about this. The middle class is expanding in India. There's more and more people. They want better quality food. They want better quality water. They want electricity. I'm going to show you one more time quickly. I had no intention of showing this graph. They want electricity. Okay. That is silver demand. That's not solar. That is solar. But guys, that is silver demand. That is India importing over 1.2 million, right? No, I'm sorry, 120 million ounces of silver in the first quarter of this year. Okay. The other thing that's crazy about the solar thing that nobody talks about, right, is the big benefit to solar electricity is it's immediate, right? They build those panels. They can put them on a house, plug it in, bingo, bango, you got electricity. Congratulations, right? They can build a solar farm, bingo, bango. You know how long it takes to build a nuclear power plant? It takes like decades, okay? And we're not building coal plants. We're not building, and I don't care. You can get mad at me about this if you want. That is silver demand. And it's immediate. It's an immediate electricity. It's immediate. There's no waiting. There's no digging up coal and blah, blah. No, the sun's there, baby, right? You hook it up, you run the wires, and bingo, bango, you got it. Okay. Where was I? I was talking about something else when I got it. Oh, yeah, silver and water purification. They're going to want electricity. There you go. Silver. They're going to want clean water. 1.4 billion people in India alone. How many people are in the United States of America? 330 million. They got like 4 times as many people in India alone. China, right? Shanghai. They have 1.4 billion people. I mean, the populations of these two countries combined is like 10 times that of the United States, or 9 times that. So let's go briefly look at what's going on in the water. Oh, this comes from our friends at the Silver Institute. I know there's a lot of suspicion about the Silver Institute, right? We're not going to look at any numbers they put out here, but let's look at water purification quickly, because we don't give this enough credit, okay? Millions of water purifiers are sold each year. Think about China and India. Let's say billion, and inside many of them, silver prevents bacteria and algae from building up in their filters so they can do their job. Silver ions are being added to water purification systems in hospitals, community water systems, pools, and spas. Silver also helps prevent Legionnaire's disease. That's interesting. I had no idea what Legionnaire's disease. We took the family to the Great Wolf Lodge. Anyway, I better not go there. Which can cause by buildup in pipes, blah, blah, blah. Waterborne illness is a major problem in developing nations. Again, guys, think back. What's besides love, which I hope you're feeling some this morning, because I love you and I really appreciate you being here right now. So you got that check, right? We need air. Yes, right? Think about that. You're alive. You probably have breathed in the last few seconds. Food's important, but you can go, like, if you watch that show on TV, my kids love it, Naked and Afraid. Susie loves it too, and I kind of like it. It's fun to watch. You can go like 3-4 weeks without food, no problem. You can then you get so hungry that you'll eat anything. These people eat snakes, they eat whatever. But what's the first thing they need on Naked and Afraid? They need water, right? And they boil it. Somebody needs to give them some silver. If I go on Naked and Afraid, I'm bringing along some silver. Like, aha, I brought silver. But nonetheless, they need water, okay? So it's a big deal. The full extent to which silver can help treat the issue of clean drinking water is yet to be seen. But ongoing research is showing its usage to be an exciting development for the global water supply. The global air supply is really important, but also number 2, right behind it, is global water supply. And bingo, bango, they need silver. On a separate note, what I thought was very, very interesting, I got to ask you guys a question. Do you know what milk spots are? I bought these coins a couple years ago. They're, let me see if you can see that. Can you see that? Anyway, this is a 1/2 ounce Canadian coin. And I opened them up there. You can see right next, see that white thing right behind her head? You can see those white dots. There's one at the top, these milk spots. And I was like, I got all upset. I talked to Coin Shop Chris, and, I guess like Canadian coins get milk spots. And is it just me? But then I thought, well, that kind of stinks. Excuse me. Hold on. Let's all get a drink of water. But I have a very unpopular opinion about milk spots. Then I was like, you know what? Because he's like, yeah, people don't want coins with milk spots. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I can see into the future. And I think because there were like 3 years where certain coins from certain mints got milk spots. I could see, like, what are the most popular stamps in the world? Think about it. There are ones that have like printing errors on them. What are some of the most popular expensive coins? Ones where there's like a mistake on the coin. Well, I think at some point, right? So in 20 years, I said, there, see that? Hold on. It's right here. Right there. There's like a spot. I think these are going to actually be more valuable. I'll go out on a limb and say it. People are going to be like, oh yeah, people got, melted down the coins with milk spots. I think they're going to be more valuable. I'm glad I have milk spots. I digress. Interesting. Silver. What else can silver be used for? Huh? Let's dig into one more. Oh wait, we got more. Okay, hold on here. This is so cool. You guys are here with me this morning. Here we go. I didn't know this. 8 states are, this is from 2021. Breaking news. 8 states are seeding clouds to overcome mega drought. But there's little evidence that it's working. I'm going to tell you, oh, look at that. Man, that looks like St. Louis last Sunday, where our minivan got totaled in a hailstorm. Yes. Anyway, the mountaintops rumble with life unnaturally each year. Snow clouds darken the sky across the west. This is about silver. This is a story about silver. It's unbelievable everything silver is used in. Open flames burst from the throats of metal chimneys mounted on squat towers, nestled among the peaks, whatever that means, with a low hiss. Puffs of particles belch from their mouths into the air, where the wind catches them and whisks them away. What do you think those particles are that they're talking about? Well, they're not ordinary particles, basement dwellers. They're tiny bits of crushed up silver iodide, a crystal-like photosensitive substance once used in photography. Now, if you're as old as me, back when I first got into silver, back in the 90s, gosh, or, anyway, a long time ago, that's what people always said, like, silver's used in photography. Well, now it's like that's a very minimal usage because everything's digital, but nonetheless, okay? So it's the same type crystal-like photosensitive substance once used in photography. And they're using it in cloud seeding. It's meant to make snow. The crystalline silver iodide particles have a structure similar to ice, and inside a cloud, like attract like. Water droplets begin to cluster around the particle, freezing solid as they gather together. Yeah, okay, enough of that. Just one more interesting use for silver. All right, guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being part of the basement. Thank you to our channel spot. Wait, Susie's yelling. Oh, Susie wants me to go. Okay, you know what? We'll do the crazy charts of the week, basement dwellers. I got more for you. Oh, you're going to be shocked when you see this because it has everything to do with silver and gold. Let me check in with Susie. Thank you, Susie. Let's ask Susie a question. Susie?
Yes.
Have I been being nice to you lately?
You've been pretty good.
What do you mean by pretty good?
I give you about 98% of niceness.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's go to the crazy charts. All right, guys, here we go. Oh, have I shown you this chart 16 times already? That's not the crazy chart. Let's go to this. Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah, no. Did we see this? This was the other one. All right, COMEX futures. This was like a week ago. Volume 171,000 contracts of 5,000. Hey, that's 800. This is one day last week. 855 million ounces of paper make-believe silver traded in one day. Guys, there is no question that this manipulation on the COMEX, the LBMA, I think is even worse, is going on. Don't forget the vaults that hold the silver at the LBMA. I'm going to do this off memory. Have I read 800 million ounces, but 500 million of those are claimed by the SLV ETF. So they have 300 million, but then of that 300 million, a lot of that is claimed by private owners, right? Like this guy Dolly's telling us, this silver market is in big, steep trouble, massive, steep trouble. Here we go. There's the premium, comparing the premiums for silver in Shanghai over what we're paying at the COMEX, almost $4 per ounce. It's going to be crazy interesting tonight to see what happens in the Shanghai market with the silver price after what happened here on Friday. Okay. 4 more. We're going to blow the train whistle. All right, let's get to it. That's my friend. Yeah, that this chart is just showing us the amount of gold that has been discovered since 1990. This comes from our friends at First Mining Gold, also a channel sponsor. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. That's also a stock that I hold, but I'm not giving financial advice. Okay, I'm going to blow the train whistle here in a second, guys. Look at the amount of gold that has not been discovered in recent years. Okay. And look how the amount of money being spent is going up, up, up. And I never talked about this. And I'll ring the train whistle. This is about the economy. This is pending home sales. Okay. Look, it's collapsed and nobody's talking about this. But guys, look, this was the great financial crisis. Look how low it was. This was 2020. I'm sorry, I don't think you can see my pointer. 2008, 2009 financial crisis. Got down to what? 70, what is that? Probably 78,000, I would imagine. During the pandemic, it got down to just over right about 70. Look where we are. We're back at like almost according to this chart, all-time low levels. This economy that we're in right now, I unequivocally am standing by my current big prediction is that before the election, we're going to have some flavor, and who knows what they'll call it, of economic doom. Be prepared, okay? Be mentally prepared, be monetarily prepared. And when that happens, it's going to be Katie bar the door, right? It's going to, and as this next, everything's coming to a head. That's all I can say at this point. Is that it? That's Kohl's stock crash, right, on Friday, because Kohl's is saying, hey, nobody's buying stuff at Kohl's anymore. All right, guys, it's time for the train whistle from Don the Brain, our big man in the state next door. Gave me this awesome train whistle. I'm going to ring it. I'm going to blow it 4 times. And there's actually a chart on here that says what the whistle means. So we're going to do Flagman, protect the rear of the train, which will be 1 long and 3 shorts. And then I'm going to bid farewell to you. All right, guys. Protect your rear. Have a great day. Be nice to yourself. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Pimbex, if you're wanting to get yourself some gold, silver, platinum group metals. Pimbex.com. Find out for yourself. Do your own due diligence. And of course, our mining company sponsors, First Mining Gold and Fortuna Silver Mines. Have a great day. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you soon.